Chthonian Alliance here, bringing you the video. Today we're going to be talking about the new cards coming out of the new Cyverse starter deck that has just been announced for the OCG, and there are 4 cards here. Some of them are kind of interesting, and one of them is kind of not really worth it, but we will definitely see. It's cool, I guess. It exists, so we'll just jump right into it. So the first card here is actually the card that I'm kind of just mocking in my head, but I'm going to give it its own fair chance. It's Pentastag. It's a Link 2 Dark Cyverse Link effect monster with 1600 attack, and the links are the top and bottom, and the link materials are just 2 effect monsters. And the first and only effect that this card has is if a linked monster if a linked monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to inflict piercing battle damage. So this card can ramp up some pretty significant amounts of damage because it gives all linked monsters to this card piercing damage, which is only going to have 2 maximum though. However, that could be a lot of damage, but I think we're past the area of just doing straight up dumb damage for the sake of doing straight up dumb damage. I mean, Gokis have their own limelight, and I'm actually really like that deck a lot because it's a classic V-down deck mixed in with some new elements, but this one is just a little bit it's just a little bit on the downside, honestly. 1600 attack is not a lot for a Link 2 monster. Granted, we have other Link 2 monsters that are weaker than this card, but they automatically do something on the board, and they're actually really impactful as far as this card is concerned. If you're a casual player, you'll actually really jump onto this card because it is a generic Link monster for you. And it's actually a budgeted Link monster that's not Saryuja or Borreload or even Firewall Dragon for that matter these days. So it's not terrible, but it could be a lot better. That's basically what I'm just going to leave it at. The second card here is Widget Kid. It's a level 3 Earth Cyverse effect monster with 1500 attack, 900 defense, and you can only use the first card of this effect once per turn, which only has 1. So I'm just being redundant. This card is actually the first effect is when this card is normal summon or special summon, you can special summon 1 Cyverse monster from your hand in defense position. It's pretty cool. Whether you'll play this card or not, though, largely depends on the build of Cyverse that you're going for. If you're going to maximize the link monsters that you could potentially create, this card is going to be very good for you. I'm not very solid on the fact on how you're going to be able to special summon this card efficiently, but this card is actually a very solid turn 1 normal summon. So maybe if you open with this card, I think you might play 2 of this card, and if you open with this card, you might want to just normal summon it over your other options. So it's pretty good for what it is, for one line of text. Next we have is Cyverse White Hat. Is a level 6 light Cyverse effect monster with 1800 attack and 2400 defense, and you can only special summon 1 card with this card's name written by the way it is written once per turn by its first effect. So you can only, basically what this is you can only summon this card once this way during its once per turn by the way that it is. The first effect is if you control 2 or more monsters with the same type, you can special summon this card from your hand. This is actually pretty good. This is generic support, actually more or less generic support, because you can have this card fit into pretty much almost any deck that's not like overtly convoluted in the way that it runs types and specific types like that. There are a lot of tier 1 decks that can make use of this card. Will they? Probably not, though. It's definitely an interesting card. You might see this in like some competitive builds, like just being tested out as one-ofs, but it will probably be fizzled out as soon as people find better support for it, or just take it out for better cards. The second effect is that this card is sent to the graveyard as a link material. You can activate this effect. All monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack until the end of the turn. That's not particularly strong, though I am okay with it being like that, not being very broken. Cyverse stuff do need that support, though, to be absolutely crucial and absolutely busted. But for the most part, I think it's very nice. It's very, it's a very good effect for what it does. And all it has to do is be sent to the graveyard as a link material, so it's not bad. And the last card here that we're going to be talking about is Signet Recover. It is a continuous spell card, again with only one effect, and you can only use it once a turn. If a link monster's you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target one monster in your graveyard except a link monster and special summon it in defense position. I think if you're going to play this card in your deck, you're going to be playing it as merely just a one-of, just to recoup some of the lost resources that you used to make the link monster. So far, this entire support, except for Widget Kid, is pretty just subpar. Maybe just minimalist at best. We'll have to wait and see what else is in the structure deck or starter deck to actually get a full grasp on how the deck is going to bring the Cyverse type into existence. So far, though, it's not looking very good for the thing. That might actually just be a direct result as to the last time they did this, because last time they did this, Formation Pals got 28 out of 32 spots in the meta. So it's it's, I guess they're trying to be precautious on how they manage this type, but I think eventually there's going to have to be an archetype that is specifically Cyverse that is really, really dumb. So, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This has been Chisoni Lance signing out.